When doing your actual landscape, okay, I'm going to use this practice here to explain a couple of things that you're going to encounter separately from this when you do your landscapes. When you start to do, say, your textures and your detail and so forth. In a lot of the examples that I have given you, those folk art pieces were, some of them were done with acrylic paints. And it's very easy to paint over top of another color. That doesn't work quite the same with the oil pastels. So you're not going to easily be able to go over top of a darker color with a lighter color. So you kind of have to think ahead when you're doing your textures. More often than not, you're just going to want to make sure that your textures are done with darker colors, or you have to lay your lighter colors down first. Like say I wanted some yellow flowers over this sea of red like this. I won't be able to come in here and, where's my yellow? Take my yellow and do, I don't know, well, watch, this is probably going to show up, but it's not going to show up very well. You can see my yellow, it's kind of scraping away, but it's not really showing through as yellow. I'm basically kind of erasing the dark color. And it is making a shape there, but I don't think I'm not laying down color. You can see by the red that's on my pastel that I've just simply erased color. Now what about up here where it's lighter? See again, same thing, it really doesn't show up there. Now white might show. See, I can do this. Now these whites, these craypas are a little bit better, and I think most of them I may have given you one of these for your whites. Now those are a little bit softer, a little bit better. So I can do some white dots. You may need to clean it on occasion. Press hard. You might just have to kind of press hard, clean it, press hard, or rotate it. So you can do some white dots. Seem to work really good when I just press hard. Almost like paint leaves a dot. Boom. Okay, but the same thing won't happen. Now I'll use the Craypa yellow. Yeah, it's a little bit better when you press. I just discovered that for the first time. But still, that's good for dots, but if I wanted to actually draw out a flower, it's not going to work really well. But obviously a dark color will. Dark on light. If I want to do some kind of shape or a circle or dots, or you're using black or whatever, the darks show up. Now you could do your color, your shape, and kind of outline it if it showed a little bit, and then sort of outline it with a darker color. But so what you have to do is maybe plan ahead, and your flowers. Let me take a smaller crayon. Are done first, right? You have several flowers, say small pattern of flowers, something like this, and then your background is done. If you have a dark background, you just have to color around those so those stand out. But if you can kind of plan ahead, that takes, especially if you have a lot of those, takes quite a bit more work. So I would either have bigger flowers or plan to have patterns, textures, that are going to be a little bit darker. If you only have a few of those, it's not too big a deal, but you don't want to fill a large area with a bunch of lighter color flowers against a dark background, because they're just not going to show up. Even if I do, let's see, the white. If I do the white, if I try to do a little bit of coloring and blending, say I wanted to do a white flower over top of this, it just makes for a pink flower or a light red flower, which is fine. That can work Put a little dot in the center of it. It's not quite the same. It's not going to come out quite the same, but that's, that's a possibility as well. So just something to think about as you do your landscapes.